And now, for a moment of clarity.
There's one more kind of wild card I'm going to throw in here, Michael, the timing of all this. We know the shooting of a healthcare CEO has brought up issues with healthcare coverage in this country. We know people feel strongly about it. Gallup recently asked Americans what they thought of the quality of healthcare. 44% rated it good or excellent. This is the lowest level since Gallup started asking this question 23 years ago. I wonder if it could make it easier for senators to justify their vote for someone like RFK Jr., who, big picture says he wants to make sweeping changes and who, as Cheryl pointed out, within these different things he said he is tasked with, there are some pieces of it, like too many obese children or, just making Americans healthier that sound pretty good.
No, there are. There's no doubt about it. The issue around processed food has been a conversation among parents for sure, and certainly those in the health care industry for quite some time. To pay some attention to that is important. But as you started the conversation, it really is about the devil in the details. What does it mean, and how do you address what it means? And so the aspect of that, if you have any indication from, again, going back to what RFK Jr. has said himself, what his belief system is, and how he will operate as the Secretary of Health in a Trump administration, when the president-elect says, go wild, do whatever you want to do, but don't touch this one thing. And now, even Trump himself can't give you a clear signal when he says, oh, yeah, I don't want to touch the polio vaccine, but everything's on the table. Well, then is the polio vaccine on the table or not? Is the rubella vaccine on the table or not? What other vaccines do children get that, again, as Vaughn noted, is administered by the states, not the federal government, required by the states, not the federal government? Are you, Mr. Secretary, thinking about having an impact on? So, yeah, there's a lot of that, Chris, that comes into focus that sounds good, feels good. But at the end of the day, the devil is more than a devil in the detail. You're talking about the lives of children, and not just the children whose parents idiotically say, don't vaccine my child. My opinion, not just for the record, my opinion, idiotically saying, because I think you want to protect your child. But then what about my child in that classroom? And so that's where this becomes very, very controversial and very, very problematic, given the position of both of these men on how they're going to address the healthcare crisis that many families suffer now and could suffer in the future. Oh, and one last little point. No one's talking about insurance companies and what insurance companies are now going to do when this vaccine program is deconstructed and children are no longer required to get these rubella or polio vaccines, and the kids come down with polio. Insurance companies haven't had to cover the equipment involved, from the iron lung to the leg irons that these kids had to wear, and the other issues that that impact their health from polio. Anybody who gonna pay that? Because insurance companies, I can guarantee you, aren't going to put their hand and go, we got you covered. That's not going to happen.
Catch Michael Steele on The Weekend, Saturdays and Sundays, 8 a.m. to 10 a.m. on MSNBC.